Outside of being chained when you get home, at home, to the applying for grants, answering email, sending email, chasing down payments, sending out scores, all that nonsense that eats into your time.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you approached, when you did get a chance, the writing of Artists in Residence?
Yeah, this one was easy because I did it up in Anna actually, and so in the sense that it was easy that I didn't have to answer do all of that stuff. So exactly the reason you go up there, and also the piece itself is wrapped up with Anna because I wrote it based on birdsong in Anna, hence the title. That the birds who are up there are the artists in residence. We're just passing through, but they live up there. And what I did was I used the technology. I went out with my laptop, looking very, very suspicious in the bushes with a laptop, wandering around a laptop, and I recorded the birds singing directly onto this program that I have. And I could, using the same program, I could slow the songs down to 400% slower, and then put them down an octave, so you can actually hear very clearly. This is nothing new. This Messiaen was doing. Lots of people have done it, but the technology was great for me. And what I did was I wrote the first movement of Artist in Residence based on the stuff I got the first day, the second movement based on stuff I got the second day, and the third movement based on stuff I got the third day. So the structure of it and the origins of it are completely tied up with Anna McCarrick in this case, and that hence the title, because most of the stuff I got from a virtuoso thrush that was outside in this huge tree outside the window. It was amazing, and most of the stuff that I got or that I used was from him. I think it's a him because they're the ones who do the territorial stuff. So so it was. This one was actually a lot easier than the usual one of trying to juggle a million things. I was really up there, and I was able to focus just doing the writing, and also be able to take the material from just outside the window. So,
But did it just occur to you then? I mean, did you go up to write an Anna McCarrick, and then suddenly you listen?
I did. It occurred to me on the way up in the car to do this. I knew I was writing for Julian Arguelles on saxophone, and I knew it was for Izumi, and so I had an idea in my mind of the kind of thing I would write. In other words, just the general vibe, because I know them both. They're playing very well. And so, but the actual process struck me around about RD, I think it was, somewhere around RD. I suddenly had this, moment. I realised I had this laptop in my bag that could do, give me some good material without me having to come up with anything, really, except to, massage the figures a bit, so musically speaking, later on, So that's kind of where all the material came from, and it was a spur of the moment thing on the way up there. I hadn't planned that before I left. But it was I knew who I was writing for, and I knew the general kind of stuff that I would write for, that I feel both performers do very well. But this was what actual material I would come up with was pretty much a blank page, as it often is when I go up there. But then, as I said, up about 2/3 of the way up, I suddenly got this brainwave and never looked back.
How did you approach, say, the dance suite number 1? I mean, when you sit down with a new score from Ronan,
with katana or maybe a knife in one hand and I don't know, spoon in this one. Yeah, it's I don't know how I approached. I just got this new rhythm music which looks very exciting, so I started doing it, started working on it, and I realized, okay, this is not something that I'm used to. But I can understand completely. I understand what you wrote, everything. But to actually do it physically is kind of challenging. So I'm actually still working on it. Yeah. So it's maybe you know when I hear it. Yeah. I can't really say anything now. It's kind of secret.
When I write this particular piece is very rhythmic, and one of the things that I really like as a composer is to write for people I know personally and how they are as players and performers and what they do. And I think that comes from the jazz musician, where you were always playing with people whose playing in general. And when I wrote this piece for Izumi, it is a hard piece, there's no question. I often don't realise, as she'll tell you, I often do stuff that I don't realise just how hard it is, or maybe I don't care, it's one of those. I do care actually, but it doesn't stop me doing it anyway. And this piece is a very rhythmic piece, and I feel that Izumi's strengths, is she's got fantastic what in jazz we call time, and so this piece is very rhythmic and very groove oriented in
especially
terms
the
of
first one. It's
yeah.
3 pieces, and especially the first one.
Yeah, the first one's based on funk rhythms. So, and I don't want to be denigrating of anybody in particular, but usually playing funk rhythms is not something that classical piano players are usually very good at, really, or have much experience at. But Izumi does it really well because she's such a good sense of time. So when I wrote it, I was very aware of that, of the rhythmic elements of this music. Hence the dance suite. When I thought of writing a dance suite for piano, I couldn't really think of anybody else in this country that I would want to play it.
See, it's interesting because one can spend one's life, if you want to, playing, exploring Beethoven and Bach and Mozart and Haydn. They're all wonderful, or some of the great jazz, Monk, Evans, whoever. You can spend your life just playing them and learning from them, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, until you come out of it and meet a flesh and blood composer and a flesh and blood experience, and then it's radically different because you have to sit down with Ronan and say, what did you mean by this?
It was really exciting to discover that, because I used to think all the written notes are it's like a Bible and you can't change, if you try to change one little thing and it's like, it will be punished or something. So I was actually really shocked to ask him, how about this is a little bit kind of, sounds a little, this is a bit difficult, or can I just, what do you think? He said, we can just change or whatever. And it was really relaxed about each note, and it was kind of a shocking experience.